Thanks for joining me. This is John Torres, TechYeti, and at TechYeti.com. Today we have a paddle comparison / review of the Bread Butter Loco versus the Luzz Tornazo with the PEBAZ Core technology. Let's get right to the review, but before we do, full disclosure, Luzz did send me this paddle for review, but this is not sponsored by them. No money's exchanged. And if you use my discount code TechYeti at a checkout from any Luzz paddles, I do get an incentive in return. But what I do is I take that money and purchase other paddles so I can give you more reviews just like this one. Nevertheless, let's get right to the review. Also, I purchased my hard-earned money for the Bread Butter Loco. I don't have any discount codes, so if you're wanting to get some discount codes for that, you can use any YouTubers out there or just search online on Facebook or other websites and find a discount code so you can save some money on that paddle. Let's start actually with the Bread Butter Loco. I was actually looking for a Bread Butter paddle for some time. Specifically, I was wanting an elongated. I was really interested in their Showdown, specifically the Imperial Edition. Beautiful combination. That one has a nice red edge guard, black grip, and I wanted something different than your standard muted paddles. But that one was really intriguing. I almost pulled the trigger on that one. But again, it takes a lot for me to spend over $150 to really pull the trigger on a paddle. So that's why it was really hard for me to kind of even decide on getting this paddle. But once that paddle was sold out, I was like, okay, good. Maybe it's not meant to be. Then a few weeks later, this paddle comes out. I was super happy with the design, the name, and what they were providing from a all foam paddle. So that tells it right away. I was willing to spend the money, my own money, on this paddle. But how does it play? Well, first thing, this immediately stood out for me when I was playing with it. Obviously, it has that nice firm feel. It has a lower knocking sound. But the biggest thing that really stands out for Bread Butter is their unboxing experience. That's really all next level, honestly. For the price, is one of the best designed packages and paddles out there. It's clean, premium, eye-catching. Honestly, those $280 paddles that are UPA certified, not this one, the Luzz, but other ones out there, and they don't even include not even a fourth of what this one provides from Bread Butter. So they are doing something right there. They know that the experience provides loyalty, and it really catches the eye for people. Now, how does it play? I give this a 2 thumbs up because of the performance overall, but I'll get more into how that performs in the details. Let's get talking about the Luzz Tornazo. I feel like the Luzz Tornazo is really a hidden gem. A lot of people have mixed messages about it. They're liking the Inferno. Unfortunately, I don't have the Inferno to compare, but I do have the Pro Cannon. Really like that one as a 3rd gen build paddle. But from a foam paddle, I really feel really connected to this one. I mean, one of the first things that people haven't really gone into depth is about their PEBAZ Plus Core. So essentially what they're doing is just marketing it, and they're putting their Z on there, just like they did their Tornazo. Instead of obviously calling it Tornado or PEBA, they just put a Z on the end and they said this is PEBAZ. But really what that is their PEBA foam. It's essentially known for longer durability. It provides better energy return over, like, I think maybe 3 times over than the other EVA and specific foams out there. Now, that's pretty bold to put it on there, but I like that they're doing that because a lot of people are not. I mean, people want to know what's inside. That's what they have on there. And you can definitely feel the difference from this to other specific paddles. So I do like it from that. But let's talk about feel and performance. Now, I think the Loco has a firm, it's really a poppy paddle. It feels explosive. It doesn't immediately feel like a huge sweet spot on the paddle. If you want to enhance that, you're going to have to use some lead tape on it. It really is not going to give you that pocketing of the ball as much as, let's say, a Gen 3 paddle. So if you're looking for something like that, that's not it. This might be more like you want a firm, poppy paddle. This is really what you're looking for. But the pop really helps when you're resetting, when you're like far at the end, if you want to do a deep drop. And honestly, this paddle exceeded my expectation. Not at first, but after giving it some time, again, this thing plays extremely well. Probably some of my best games playing with this paddle overall. Now, let's talk about the Tornazo. Now, full disclosure, I did play roughly around 10 hours each on these paddles. Try to do that at least for about 2 weeks so I can get a good feel of how these paddles play. And both of them really are pretty decent. Now, the Tornazo, honestly, I feel more connected to this paddle than I do the Loco. It's probably one of the most connected paddles. I say even close to my Saga V7. That says a lot. This has great dwell time, especially specifically on drives. You feel it pocketing the ball. I like it on resets, especially when you're putting your paddle out there. It just kind of sinks in. You feel that response is really nice. And it provides really good battle exchange. I feel like this really does provide some nice dwell and control for that, despite being a powerful paddle. Now, the PEBA foam gives it a more plush response. That's my thinking why they would market it. I feel like definitely gives a nice response to it. And better ball pocketing overall. Now, you can feel the ball shaping your shots, which I feel more connected to. I don't have to think about it as much. And if you're thinking about, oh man, can this paddle perform? This performs pretty well. Now, I'm going to put in the description down below. If people thinking that this is more powerful than the Tornazo, I'm going to put the description down below on the link to John Q's paddle database. These are pretty close in performance regarding to power and to pop on miles per hour. Now, you're going to get different feel, and obviously spin and dwell and all that stuff is going to make a difference for it. But if you're consistently wanting to know how powerful is it, these are pretty close. That's why I wanted to do a comparison for it. Definitely check out the link. Check out the information. I'll put it in the description down below. Now, let's talk about the 3Ds, which is dinks, drives, and drops. Let's get into the core gameplay. For example, let's talk about the drives. As I stated before, I feel more connected to the Luzz Tornazo. The Tornazo feels better here. You can feel the paddle hold. You can feel it release the ball. I just feel like with drives, this one provides more of a connection feel. But man, this thing makes the ball sing. This thing just really exceeds that power and that loud knocking sound. This thing just makes it dip into the line. The spin helps with that. The grit on here. I just say that both of these perform really well for what they're looking for. But man, I think the Loco is just really going to tweak it just a little bit much, but the Tornazo is not far behind from that. On dinks, both paddles are pretty solid. Really, honestly, there's really no major complaints. It just really comes down to preference. If you want a little bit more of a poppy feeling, really loud knock, this one does provide some of that there too, but I think that this one provides more pocketing, as I stated several times. So if you want more of that, I'm probably going to recommend the Tornazo for you. Now, with drops, the Loco has more pop, which is going to take more time to control. But once you dial it in, this thing is butter. Man, from far and long range, I was not sure if I was going to get those balls to like even get over the net. With some other paddles that are more controlled, you have to really put more effort, more swing into it. This one just gets it over the net, man. Now, of course, you're going to pop up some balls here and there, but that comes with more practice and getting used to the paddle. And of course, you toning down and making sure you can control your game. But with drops, I feel like the Loco really just kind of outperforms with it, and it's butter. Now, the Tornazo, I feel like is just a little bit more consistent out of the box because of that feel and the connection I have with the paddle. But nevertheless, I've had some of my best games with the Bread Butter Loco. I'm not going to go too much into spin, but I did want to touch base on it because I first thought the LUZZ Pro Cannon and Tornazo had one of the best gritty paddles out there. But Loco, man, this thing is really getting it. I really enjoy it. Being that it's a powerful paddle, I was worried that if the balls were going to kind of go out of bounds on my serves. This thing provides a really nice top spin. If you're looking for dinks or drives, man, exceeded my expectations. But again, the LUZZ does just fine. Let's talk about, again, the price. Now, again, it takes a lot for me to really pull a trigger on anything over $150. So it says a lot for me to tell you that I purchased this with my own money. I have no incentives in return from this. So it took a lot for me to decide on this. And that just says it alone. I spent $180. I'm not returning it. This is going to stay in my bag. This is really going to be my primary right now, unless another paddle dibs this paddle out of it. Now, the Tornazo being the $229, again, if you use discount code TechYeti, you can save 15%, brings it down to about $195. So while it's still slightly more expensive, I feel like the PEBA foam, and don't forget, it is dual certified. So if you are somebody that needs to play in those PPA M1P events, you need to have a dual certified paddle. You have no choice but to go to something like this. I would recommend the Tornazo or the Pro Can. The Pro Can is honestly more budget friendly, but if you're concerned with durabilities on those Gen 3 paddles, go with the foam. I would spend the money just a little bit more just to have that, so I don't have to exchange paddles every year or so. Now, Luzz does have a 1-year warranty. I can't recall the paddle warranty on the Bread Butter Loco, but I'll put it down in the description down below for you if you want. But for $229 before discount code, $195 or about $180, I mean, that's really a give or take. It's really up to you. I honestly like the experience of the Bread and Butter unboxing experience. Luzz does have a nice box they include. Not as fancy as the Bread and Butter, but nevertheless, really nice packaged foam. And it provides a decent design. People knock on the design. I think it's okay. I mean, again, they're doing their Z's on there. I think it's not bad. Their color scheme is okay. They do have another one on their website that you can get now. I think it's like a gray faded color. I think that would be just fine for what you want it for. So you obviously have your choices, what you're going to look for. Now, in the end, which one would I choose? You already know that. I purchased the Bread and Butter Loco. Would I purchase the Tornazo for $229? No. That's the honest truth. The only reason is if I was playing in specific tournaments that needed the UPA and it's close to my Loco, then probably I would obviously go to you want to have something that's pretty close to gameplay. Personally, I would go with the Pro Cannon, which is $92 or $93. That's an amazing deal. Plays very similar, same dimensions, grip, and so forth. I would go that route, but if you're wanting something different, you want something close that has the power and the feel, I feel like I have more connection to this one than my Pro Cannon. So if you want something like this, I would recommend it. Nevertheless, you can't go wrong with the Bread and Butter, just the retro look, the color, the design, the overall experience and gameplay. Honestly, you can't go wrong with the Bread and Butter Loco. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say this, and to conclude, this is your call. I've had some comments about there asking, what is your duper? What's your experience? What is this? And I understand that people want credibility. It makes sense, right? You can't just trust anybody on the internet nowadays, more so than ever before. But I'm going to say this, man, please take everybody's YouTubers, reviewers of paddles with a grain of salt, please. Just because I say something is not set in stone, neither is the next guy or the others, even if they have 40, 50,000 or just 500 subscribers. One thing I'm going to tell you, most companies have a return, period. If you're finding that, hey, this YouTuber said this is like this and I don't like it, this is not the feel that I want, it's not plush, it's not firm, it's blah, 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 then reach out to them, see how much it is to return it, because you might have to pay for shipping. Or the best thing is to do, check with ambassadors. I am always willing to let people try my paddles because guess what? If they provide me one, why not let people try it out? It's the best way for people to kind of say, hey, could I spend $180, $100, $400 on a paddle, whatever it might be? And that's the best way to do it, to try it out. And guess a lot of clubs out there, pickleball facilities have demos for you to try. So I'd recommend to do that first before taking my word as gospel, as I hear out there, and just make decisions for yourself, man. Just honestly do it for yourself. At the end of the day, it's your thing versus mine. I'm mainly a recreational player. I just do this for fun. And I felt like, why not give my perspective compared to some of these big YouTubers? Again, I paid for the Loco. I didn't for this one. You kind of already know what I would spend my money on. Considering the foam paddle comparison, if either of these are on your list, honestly, you can't go wrong. Hopefully this helped. Let me know in the comments what you would try and what you like about each of these paddles. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below. And if there's any other more gear reviews you want, just let me know and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.